What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with the Hometown Take podcast. I hope you all are well. Happy Thursday to you all. Got a great show lined up for you today. I want to go ahead and get right into it. I told you I had some more collaborations going soon with everything that went down at the MLB trade deadline yesterday. I had to call up my man Josh Dennis. He coaches high school baseball. He also coaches youth baseball from ages 13 to 16, and he also graduated with me from the University of West Georgia. His major was health and physical education. So let's go ahead and talk to my man Joshua Dennis about these baseball moves right now. Josh, what's going on, my man?
How you doing? Glad to be here. Doing well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. And also, first things first, I know what also I remember, he does have his podcast too, so make sure you check that out. It is called The Den. Josh, where can they find that at?
So it's on my social media outlets, Instagram. My Instagram name is Joshua Dennis, and on Facebook as well. My Facebook name is Joshua Dennis. Under Instagram, the link will be in my bio. It'll be in my bio on Instagram, and on Facebook, I usually just post it that day so people can go on my page and just scroll, and they'll see the podcast like I did yesterday.
All right, so make sure y'all go check that out. You heard the man, Joshua Dennis, Facebook, Instagram. Go check it out. He's got good stuff on his podcast. So, Josh, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Shane Green. We got Chris Martin a couple days earlier. And then we also got Mike McClanson. So, Braves made some moves. We showed up that bullpen just like we needed to. How do you feel about the moves?
Man, I am overjoyed. I am elated. I am super excited because it has been an issue, especially in Washington these past couple of games. We were blessed to win them. I recall on Tuesday night, I was sitting well watching the game, in my home here in Macon, and it was 11-1. I was like, oh yeah, we got this. Duval had hit 2 home runs. Josh Donaldson went deep. Everything was rolling with the offense. It was 11-1 in the 7th inning. I was like, oh yeah, we got this. They're not whatever. And then all of a sudden, here come the Nationals. Hit a 3-run homer, makes it 11-5. In the 8th inning, and then in the 9th inning, Soto for the young star for the Nationals. He went deep and he hit a home run that made it 11-8 in the 9th inning. And I remember Chip Carey. He was like, "Okay, now I'm starting to get uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and close this out, guys." And thankfully, I believe they flew out to end the game to left field. And I was just so overjoyed. I was like, man, why Atlanta? Why do y'all have to keep me on the edge of my seat every game? You really literally have to watch games all the way up until the 9th inning, because our closing situation was just not good. Luke Jackson cannot close. He is a bad closer. He's very erratic. Yes, he has the velocity, but it's just he's not consistent. He's not like a shutdown closer. So and then yesterday we experienced the same thing. We was up 4-2 in the 9th inning. The bases were loaded with no outs. And this was under Luke Jackson again. I don't know why we pitched him again the very next day, because it was an early game and I know his arm was worn out. So, but we pitched him anyway. They ended up tying the game in the bottom of the 9th, and they made it 4-4. And then they actually had to bring someone else in to actually close out the 9th inning, because we had took Luke Jackson out. And then Josh Donaldson, thankfully, in the top of the 10th, he hit a home run to put us up 5-4, and then I closed it out yesterday for us. But it's just like I just don't understand. Like, why can't we not get a closer? Why didn't we get Craig Kimbrell? Like, he was a star in Atlanta. We sent him to the All-Star game like 4 years in a row.
Rookie of the year too. He was Rookie of the year in 2011.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Wow. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, guys? And so finally, I guess our ownership's hearts had enough and said, all right, let's go get a closer so we can stop having these moments, these issues. And we got a shutdown closer who has a 1.18 ERA from Detroit.
And And I'm glad you brought that up because I want to ask you this. So, of course, while all these moves were happening, the game was really still going on. And really, we were in that meltdown mode. The bottom of the ninth was happening while a lot of these moves were being made. So, do you think that obviously we were going to make some moves anyway, but do you think with Alex Anthopoulos seeing how that game was going yesterday and seeing Luke Jackson melt down again, do you really think that helped him was like, okay, yeah, we really got to do this? Do you really think that helped him close the deal on Shane Green and the rest of our acquisitions?
Yes, really do. I mean, if you, I think Luke Jackson this year has probably 6 or 7 blown saves, and considering that's not that bad, and I think he's like a 3-some ERA. But when you're going against when you're going against the NL East foe, like the Phillies and the Nationals, you have to close those games out because those are the games that determine whether we win the division or not and get to the playoffs. Because what I don't want to happen is these last 2 months us start losing and have to get into a wild card situation, because then that's when stuff gets real crazy. Then you really depend on people to lose. So that's why I didn't want to, because yesterday it was a swing. If we lost yesterday, we'd only been 4.5 games up on the Nationals going into August. But with us winning, we went up 6.5 games going into August. So it's a 2-game swing. So it's like, in these crucial moments against these crucial teams, Luke Jackson, we need your absolute best, and he just wasn't doing it. There's no way, again, you up 10 runs in the 7th inning and you only win by 3 runs. It took everything we had, you know what I'm saying, to barely scrape by the Nationals these past 2 games. It's because of our bullpen, specifically our closing.
Exactly, and like you were saying, when I wasn't watching the game, not yesterday, but the day before the 11-8 game, I wasn't watching it, but I saw it. I was like, oh, we're up 11-1. Braves got this. We're good. Then I get the notification on my phone for the final 11-8. I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? And I already knew it was the bullpen. I checked the box score and all that. Sure enough, it was the bullpen. And then yesterday I was watching. And, man, talk about on the edge of your seat. You brought it up. And you're right. Every game, it's like we're on the edge of our seat, sweating it out because we don't know what's going to happen with the bullpen. Luke Jackson comes in, we get nervous. You know, anybody comes in, we get nervous. I mean, there's been a few guys who've been pretty sure. Anthony Schwarzak, he's been pretty good. But these last few games, he's got roughed up a little bit too. So we definitely just had to shore up that bullpen, and we did that. So Alex Anthopoulos, man, he definitely gets a grade of A on when it comes to this trade deadline. So now for the Braves, where do you think this put them? Not only when it comes to division, because now I think pretty much hands down, unless we have some fatal injuries or we just have a complete meltdown, barring that stuff, I think we pretty much got the division locked up. Our offense has been great the entire year, and we just shored up the bullpen. So I think we're good when it comes to division. But now, where do you think that we're at when it comes to the Dodgers, when it comes to the Cubs, you know, when it comes to making the deep playoff run, not only making it to the NLDS, but the CS and also the World Series? Where do you think we're at right now?
So I thought about, and I was discussing this with one of my friends the other day. The past couple of years, and it's a little better this year, but last year we won the division. We made it to the playoffs and got 90 wins, mainly off of small ball. Playing great defense, base hits, but not a lot. Some home runs, but not just a lot of home runs like the Dodgers or the Red Sox or the Yankees. You know, a lot of small ball, a lot of small scouting reports and, bunting and squeeze bunts and stuff like that. And this year, thanks to Josh Donaldson, we are more of a power hitting team. And so it's a little less small ball, and it's a little more we're relying on the long ball. And that's what really it is in the MLB now, is hit a home run. It's hit home runs, and if you can't hit home runs, really you lose. Small ball teams don't win championships anymore. That's kind of my thinking towards that. So we still play some small ball, and we still very, very good defensively. But we still, we're hitting more home runs thanks to Josh Donaldson. Ronald Acuna still hitting homers, Freddie, of course. Ozzy at times, and we really can put him anywhere in the lineup. And then we have our reserves that's come off the bench in place of Dansby Swanson, Nick Markakis due to injury, and they're hitting home runs as well, like Camargo and Duvall. They're hitting home runs as well. So, when it comes to us competing for a championship, competing for a World Series, playing the Dodgers, or if we make it there somehow, play the Yankees, you're going to have to keep up with them power hitting wise. You won't win small ball wise, especially if your pitching is average or even a little below average. Like, unless you have great pitching, that small ball might push you over the hump if you have great pitching. But if you just have decent pitching, you're going to have to hit home runs, because that's what the Yankees do. Like when we played the Dodgers last year in the playoffs, I'm talking about they were going yard on us games 1 through 5. Like they were going yard on us, and it was like we just couldn't. We couldn't keep up, offensively, because we have good hitters, but we didn't have just power hitters like that, like Cody Bellinger, and like all the Tucker, like all the or Turner, like all the power hitters that they had, and so that's the only way we'll have to really wrap that up. That's why again, Josh Donaldson is going to come up so huge for us in the playoffs, because he's hit 25 home runs, he hits clutch home runs, and he can pretty much hit off any pitcher. So that's what I can understand with that.
You hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, Josh Donaldson has been so great for us this year. You got it. I mean, not only has he hit for power, his average is pretty solid, but he's also been another great thing that we really haven't had here in Atlanta. I guess probably since the Chipper Jones, Mark Teixeira days. Freddie Freeman is our best player. He's pretty much our best player. He hits for power. He got the average, all that. Josh Donaldson has been able to protect Freddie Freeman at that 4 spot. Now it's just not like, we can walk Freddie, get to the number 4 guy. He's not going to do that much damage. No, now it's, walk Freddie if you want to. You going to be liable for maybe a 2-run, 3-run, however many men on base at that point with Josh Donaldson, because especially as of late, he's been raking as of late.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and I agree with you with the power. Definitely the power has been up, and a lot of that is thanks to Josh Donaldson. Dansby Swanson, before he got injured, he was having a really consistent year too. Nothing too spectacular, but just being really consistent as well. But also, we can play small ball at the times we need to, and I see it a lot in the earlier innings. Ronald Acuna is such a great leadoff hitter. Say he gets on base. I actually saw this. I think it was the Nationals game yesterday, early on in the game. Ronald Acuna got on base. Then he stole second. Then got a base hit from Ozzy. That was a quick 1 run right there. So even though I do think ultimately we're gonna have to get the clutch hits, we're gonna definitely have to hit some long balls if we want to compete and keep up with the Dodgers and the likes of those teams. But I do think the small ball early on, like we've shown we can execute, will be important as well. Just to get out ahead, just to get an early lead and things of that nature. So I'm gonna ask you real quick. Do you have a World Series prediction right about now? We've seen what went down in the trade deadline. Some other teams were busy. Obviously, the super big news that everybody was talking about, Zach Greinke to the Astros. They got a mean 1-2-3 punch now when it comes to their rotation behind Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, and now the added Zach Greinke. The Yankees didn't make any moves. The Dodgers really didn't make any moves. But so do you have a World Series favorite right now?
Yeah. So out of the AL, I honestly, because the Astros made a huge power move yesterday with their pitcher, they got Zach Greinke. I believe that they will. If not, it's really going to be between them and the Yankees coming out of the AL. I do like the Minnesota Twins though, because they hit that long ball very well. But can that sustain in the world? In the playoff run, and they really don't have the experience because they haven't been in the playoffs, like that in recent years. So, I don't think they have the experience. But I do believe that the Astros will overcome the Yankees simply because they have better pitching. They can both hit long ball pretty equally. I know Giancarlo Stanton's been out for the Yankees for a while this summer, and that's also been a hindrance because that's going to prevent them from really him from having like a consistent flow. You know, to stay up Aaron Judge and all of their, other players, even veterans like Brett Gardner. But, I think the Astros are going to be the ones who come out of the AL simply because they have both the pitching and the defense still, with their second baseman. And, they have the power hitting as well. So, I think that they are coming out of the AL. As far as the NL, I think it will honestly, if not us, as much as I want it to be us, and I long for it to be us, I think it'll be the Dodgers yet again. If we can somehow match the Dodgers power for power, foot for foot, and let's say it comes to a point where we have to play them, first two games are in LA. If we can steal one of those games, grab two in Atlanta, possibly, steal another on the road and possibly win the series in six, that's a possibility. But our pitching has to be on point all games, and that's all three phases. The starting pitching, the middle relief, and the closing has to be on point, has to be on phase, has to be solid, because that's the only way that we'll be able to actually compete with them, when it comes to, because again, we could match them power for power, but, that's going to be tough too, because they also have pitching. So, we're going to have to keep those things in mind and try that, but I believe it will come down to us and them as far as in the NL. I know you have the Cubs. I know you have the Brewers. You have the Chicago, the St. Louis Cardinals that, may make a run as well and things of that nature. But, I believe it'll be between us and them.
So I also wanted to ask you, I'm glad you brought up the starting pitching. So looks like we got the bullpen pretty much shored up. We'll see how that works out. She'll work out fine for us. But now we do kind of have some question marks on the back end of our rotation. Obviously, we got Soroka, we got Keuchel, we got Max Fried, and then it gets a little shaky. Julio Teheran has been okay, but you can't really say he's had his moments where he's been really good, and he has his moments where he's not very good. And then we also have that fringe starter that we don't really know what's gonna happen. So do you think there's a chance we bring back Foltynewicz? To maybe we try out Folty again, see if he's ready from Gwinnett. I mean, we know he hasn't been the same since he came back from that injury. So starting pitching wise, how are you feeling? What do you think? What do you think we're gonna do?
So with me, with that fifth day starter, with that fifth starter rotation, I believe we have two options. We need to really gauge and see what Mike Foltynewicz is doing down in AAA ball right now. If he's lights out, let's bring him right back up, because his issue was he was an all-star last year. But this year he's just been so erratic and so wild, like just no kind of consistency, can barely finish 5 innings. So, he has the velocity, of course. He has the movement on his pitches. He has a good breaking ball, but it's just his consistency and his controlling command have been off. So I would say let's check and see what he's doing in AAA ball. If he's doing solid, let's bring him back up for some more starts and see what he does. If he continues the erratic stuff, send him back down. And honestly, in that fifth spot, the back end, I would try John Newcomb again as a starting pitcher, because he did pretty good last year. He almost threw a no-hitter last year in one game. And he's done pretty good out of the bullpen. So I would try him with that fifth start. Gausman, I don't like him. He's not really formidable. He gave up a grand slam to the Nationals on ESPN the other day. And so I'm like, yeah, we don't need him as our fifth day starter. So I would go Sean Newcomb or Mike Foltynewicz in that area.
Yeah, Gausman, he was pretty consistent last year. Again, okay, but nothing really lights out. So it really is a question about that fifth starter. And right now, I think that is really our biggest Achilles heel. That'll be our biggest downfall right now, because we got the offense. Now we've got the bullpen shored up. It's just a matter of, can our starting pitching get it done enough to where we don't have to wear out our bullpen. But let's move on to another subject real quick. You're a good sports guy, and I do want to get your take on some things going on in the NFL real quick. So first things first, how do you feel about the whole Ezekiel Elliott holdout? Do you think they're going to give him a contract? How do you think that whole situation is going to pan out?
That's interesting because I've been following what Jerry Jones said about Ezekiel Elliott and how they don't need a rushing champion to win a championship. And I slightly disagree with that because of the construct of his team. Ezekiel Elliott, pretty much his first year, he carried the Cowboys offensively. I'm talking about offensive line was great. He was getting basically 10 yards a carry, but he pretty much carried them his whole rookie year. And then he was suspended 6 games in 2017. That's the only year they haven't made the playoffs so far in his career. When they made it back last year, that was a large part because of their defense and because of the addition of Amari Cooper. So, I think that they're gonna have to pay him. I mean, I really don't see them getting rid of Ezekiel Elliott. I don't see them letting him go because that would be probably the dumbest move they've ever made. So, I think they'll keep him and they'll pay him, but it'll probably be closer to the regular season. It'll probably be before game 1. Now, I do think Ezekiel Elliott's kind of going through the streams, like going to Mexico and just, he has all those off the field issues as well. So you should take that into consideration. So, I mean, I believe that they'll give him the max. What he wants, it'll probably be a 4 to 5 year deal, and eventually they'll have to play Dak Prescott as well because his rookie contract is coming up too. So they're gonna have to pay him if they really want to contend for a Super Bowl because again he's the main guy that carries them. Yeah, Alfred Morris is good, and the other running backs, but you're talking about you want to go to a Super Bowl, contend for a Super Bowl. You're going to have to keep your workhorse there.
Right, and they've already pretty much established that they're going to wrap up Dak Prescott first. I think he's the priority. And then it's kind of like, well, do you choose between Amari Cooper or Zeke Elliott to try and sign next? So I think that's where the whole thing is coming from. But, Amari Cooper is at camp. Zeke is not. So don't know if that could help the decision-making for Jerry Jones and that front office or not, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I want to get your take on a couple more things here. First, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones. Obviously, we saw Michael Thomas get that extension, 5 years, $100 million. I believe it was $61 million guaranteed. What does that mean for the Julio deal that is looming? And just overall, what do you see for the expectations for the Atlanta Falcons this season?
Yes, sir. So, I saw that, Julio said he's better than Michael Thomas, so he feels that he should get more money than Michael Thomas. Basically, we're going to pay him his money. We gave him a promise last year that we will pay you more money, extend your contract this year, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We knows that we know that we're going to pay him more than what Michael Thomas got. We'll probably give him $25 million for the next 4 or 5 years. For the next 5 years, and we will, and that'll be the smartest thing to do. He is, the face of our franchise. He is our best player, along with Matt Ryan. So we're just gonna have to pay him, and that's what we're gonna do. He has a very good relationship running off the field with Arthur Blank. So I believe that plays a big part in it as well. And, of course, we've already paid Deion Jones. We've already paid Grady Jarrett. We paid Buster Freeman a couple summers ago. We paid Matt Ryan last summer. So, we've already paid all those other people. It's just time to pay our workhorse and secure him basically through his entire career in Atlanta. So, I'm very excited for this season, and I'm very excited. Julio is sitting out preseason again, and he will not play, which is very good because that eliminates the risk of injury.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about, staying healthy.
Right, because we don't need Julio. Usually there's, and I mean I hate to say it, but usually there's something, and it's not really terrible because Julio is such a monster. He plays through everything. I mean the man is just super reliable. Never really misses a game unless he absolutely has to, or we don't really need him. And preseason we don't need him. We don't need to see Julio. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones have that connection. They're gonna be fine. I love when he said, I practice the way I play, and that him and Matt Ryan do not need to work on their chemistry. They got it. I mean, they've been together for years and years now. They're going to be fine. So, expectations-wise for the Falcons, obviously, we got the Saints right in front of us. The Panthers, they have a mean defensive front, a mean defense really just overall. But my question is about Cam Newton. We don't know about Cam Newton yet and how healthy that shoulder really is. So I'm not sold on the Carolina Panthers yet because I'm not sold on Cam Newton. But if Cam Newton is healthy, they're going to be a problem. So how do you see the Falcons shaping out in the division and really in the playoff picture overall this upcoming season?
Right. So, I mean, I had discussed this yesterday actually on my own podcast as well. I believe that we have pretty much everything you could ask for an NFL team. We have a franchise quarterback who's elite, on the border of elitism, and might be a future Hall of Famer. We of course have the best wide receiver in the league. We have a formidable running back who's top 5 when he's fully healthy. We have, the surrounding pieces with Calvin Ridley and Mohamed Sanu. Defensively, we have the best covered linebacker in the NFL and Deion Jones. We have, Keanu Neal, who's the enforcer. We have Ricardo Allen, who's just an experienced vet and really knows how to play his position very well. We have, Desmond Trufant, who, he's been kind of up and down in his career, but I believe with, a lot of surrounding pieces on defense, and with Dan Quinn being the coordinator now, defense coordinator, I believe he can help propel him to that next level. And we have Isaiah Oliver, who's a rookie, who came on at the end of last year and did pretty darn well. And then, we still got half of Devondre Campbell. We signed Grady Jarrett. So, I mean, you have pretty much, so the pass rusher will be a little better. And then, of course, on the offensive line, with our first pick last year, we signed an offensive line. So the offensive line should be better. Then we picked up some people out of free agency. So, I mean, we pretty much have everything you could ask for, kind of like last year. It's just, we just had so many injuries last year. So, if we just prayerfully just keep all of our team safe and keep, if our entire team stays healthy, we can definitely beat the Saints. I mean, the Saints have a good offense, but I still, so we saw this at the end of last year. Drew Brees, Father Time is undefeated. Drew Brees' arm is not what it used to be. He relied on Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram a lot in the defense, and he kind of slowed down towards the end of last season. Yeah, he set records and stuff like that, and the Saints almost made it to the Super Bowl, but, I mean, he is getting older. And I don't believe he can make some of the same throws that he used to make and stuff like that. So I think we're right there with the Saints, and we can, I believe we can beat them, and we can win the division. I believe we can beat them both times, fully healthy. Because, again, both times we played them last year, the Deion didn't play, and our entire defense pretty much hurt. And even Ricardo Allen towards Achilles the first time we played them. And as far as Carolina, I mean, Cam Newton, I've been looking at him. His shoulder, is pretty healthy. And, it looks like it's okay. He's changed his throwing motion and stuff like that. But he still has, we'll have to see how it is actually in the NFL game, in the regular season game, how he responds and stuff like that. I think that the Carolina Panthers will be good. And yes, they have a great defense. Yes, they still have Luke Kuechly. They have a great front seven. But how will Cam Newton show the response to like a big hit? And how will Christian McCaffrey, how big? Of course, he will play a big role in their offense. But let's say, what if he gets hurt? Do they have a formidable backup? To help out Christian McCaffrey because he's touched the ball a lot over the past 2 years. So, they have to keep those things in consideration. So, I mean, it's a pretty much three-headed monster in the NFC South. The Buccaneers, they just still have too many turnover issues with Jameis Winston, and their defense is not that good and stuff like that, so I'm not really worried about them. So, I mean, if we can, like beat Carolina both times and split versus New Orleans, and then take care of our business against the rest of the other teams in the NFC. The NFL, we can look at you're looking at an 11-5 or 12-4 season. Very easy.
I completely agree. And a lot of people forget that really we should have won that first game against New Orleans at our place. Obviously, there was that whole, Robert Alford, and I forgot who else was in on the play. I think it was Keanu Neal, and they kind of collided, and Drew Brees kind of spun off of them, and that whole thing happened. And then obviously in the second game against New Orleans, our defense was not there at all. Grady was gone. Dion was gone. Ricardo was gone too. At that point, our whole defense was basically the whole middle end of our defense was basically disseminated and gone. So we already knew what was going to happen at that game. But yeah, there's a lot of questions with Carolina too. Like I said, like you said, if Cam Newton takes a hit, is he going to be okay? Christian McCaffrey, God forbid he gets hurt for them, are they going to have a formidable backup? So there are some questions there, and health is just going to be the biggest thing for us. Health is our biggest question. I talked about it too in my last podcast a while ago. As long as we stay healthy, we're going to be okay. And as long as these rookie offensive linemen, of course, Caleb McGarry having that heart procedure, we'll see what happens with him. But we did get those two guards in free agency too, so that was good. We have some depth there. But as long as that offensive line is, at least halfway better than the offensive line last year, we'll be okay. Matt Ryan still put up MVP-like numbers. People forget about that because of our record. But he had a season close to his MVP season back in 2016. So as long as we have a better offensive line and our defense stays healthy, we're going to be able to definitely compete with the Saints, and we'll definitely be able to compete with the Carolina Panthers too. So I think it's going to be a very competitive season in the NFC South. And like you said, I'm not worried about the Buccaneers either. Jameis Winston hasn't proved anything to me. Yeah, they got Bruce Arians. That's cool and all, but haven't proven anything to me. But last thing I want to ask you about here, then I'm going to let you go. So let's move on over. We basically covered everything. Let's go ahead and cover the NBA too as well. Man, the Hawks are building something of a squad down there in Atlanta. Trae Young, John Collins obviously and now we added Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter through the draft. Where do you see the Hawks' future? And I'm just going to go ahead and ask you straight up. How long is the timetable until the Hawks make the playoffs, you think?
Right. So, man, I am so amped, so pumped, so excited, so just ready for this new season, NBA season coming up. We really scored in the draft. I would give our team an A. Definitely. We got two of the top first 10 picks. Cam Reddish, I was so elated that we got him out of Duke. I believe he honestly, in my opinion, has KD potential at least. I'm not saying he's going to be like him, but he has a very, or really Paul George kind of potential when it comes to defending and when it comes to just getting buckets and scoring. He has a lot of potential. And DeAndre Hunter is a defensive hound. He can also shoot the three ball, and he's versatile. He's versatile. He can do things. He can guard at least 1 through 4. So I am amped. We got the additions of Jabari Parker. We got Chandler Parsons. We have Alan Crabb. We got Damian Jones, who's a rim protector out of Golden State. He has a ring. Of course, Trae Young. He's being really watched this whole summer in the Drew League. He's been balling out, and
also apparently added 12 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, and they say he's going to start training with Kobe Bryant to work on his mid-range game this month. Kobe, the Mamba. So it's like, man, this is going to be nice. The main thing that has to improve compared to last year is the defense. Our defense was atrocious last year, giving up almost 140 points a game. It's like, man, let's play some defense, guys, so Trae Young won't have to score 50 points a night. And so I'm saying, then we, of course, we have John Collins, him, Trae Young, and I would probably say Cam Reddish are our future. They're our future. And then, Kevin Huerter, too. Kevin Huerter is probably going to start at shooting guard for us if we don't start Alan Crabb there. I believe that we will make the playoffs, honestly, next year. And that's barring health. Again, Jabari Parker, I think he's going to come up absolutely huge for us. I did not like how we got rid of Amari Spellman, honestly, but, we got Jabari Parker, we got a rim protector, and Amari did have kind of injury issues as well. But I believe we will make the playoffs at least as a 7 seed next year. I believe we'll have that 7 seed. I believe we'll have a 38-plus wins, probably 40-something. Our defense will be better. We'll move the ball around. Pretty much everybody on our team can shoot threes except for Damian Jones. Even Alex Lenz that was out there shooting threes last year. And so, we have pretty much everything again. Not necessarily everything you can ask for, but we have all the pieces in place for our future. I believe we will make the playoffs. I believe that, we will advance to possibly a second round. I don't think we're third or definitely not NBA Finals bound yet, but we're definitely on our way. That all depends on the maturation of Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, and we also have Bruno Fernando. I like the addition of him as well. I'm really, really looking forward to it. We got to protect the rim. That's the main thing. Got to rebound. Trey got to cut down on the turnovers a little bit. And, I wouldn't mind if he just moved up a little bit closer to the three-point line. We all know he has Steph range, and everybody compares Steph to Trey Young to Steph Curry. But, I just want him to just be himself and play his game and lead us, to a playoff berth.
Right, and I'm glad you touched on Bruno Fernando as well. I talked about this in one of my earlier podcast episodes. I believe he averaged about 3 blocks in the Summer League, and I know it's just Summer League, can't hold too much on it, but if he can replicate that in the NBA, he's the rim protector we've been needed for years, really. I guess you could say Al Horford was somewhat of a rim protector, but we never really truly had that rim protector probably since like Dikembe Mutombo back in those days. So it's huge that we finally got a dude in Bruno Fernando who at least has the potential right now to be a rim protector. And of course, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter. We needed a 3 indeed. That's who DeAndre Hunter is. And DeAndre Hunter, I think is going to really be able. I think Cam Reddish, he'll contribute right away too. But really, DeAndre Hunter, he spent 4 years in Virginia, won a championship there. He's going to be ready. He's going to be more experienced, a little bit more mature. So I think DeAndre Hunter is really going to come in and show out really in this first season because he has that maturation. He's been through it. So I'm super excited. Also, Jabari Parker is going to, like you said, he's going to be a big wild card for us. This was number 2 overall pick in the draft just a few years back coming out of Duke. So if he can stay healthy, we got a little bit of a squad, and I was telling people too, the Hawks can make the playoffs next year. I would say if they get at least 35 wins, it's definitely an upgrade. Plus, I think part of the defense is, yes, they have a bad defense, but part of it was too, they we're not slightly tanking. But I think this year, after you saw what happened in the draft lottery, this past year with the Lakers getting the 4 and they were, on the fringe of a playoff spot, with how the draft lottery works now, I think we'll actually see the Hawks basically just, hey, we can still be on a fringe playoff team and still possibly get a good draft position as well again. So I think we'll see them actually going for it, trying to get the guys playoff experience, because we know we're turning that wheel. And instead of, trying to fight for draft position, we're trying to fight for a playoff spot and get these young guys experience. So I think it's going to be really interesting, man. And this NBA season as a whole is going to be interesting. So last thing, I got to get your take on who's your favorite for the NBA Finals this year.
And honestly, my favorite player is Steph Curry. But obviously, the Warriors are not the same team anymore without KD and, Klay Thompson. Going to be hurt for the majority of the season, so I do not think the Warriors make the finals. But I think the LA Clippers will come out of the West. Their defense is just going to be ridiculous. Patrick Beverley at the 1, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard guarding the wings and the other guards, stuff like that. They have Montrezl Harrell and Zubac inside, and they still have people that come off their bench like Landry Shamet and Lou Williams, who's just a great scorer. So, people are saying it's going to be between them and the Lakers, but I just think the the Lakers are a little older than the Clippers, and I think that's going to kind of show itself. I think they're going to get a little tired of being guarded by Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for a 7-game series. I believe, honestly, today in the series, I would take the Clippers in 6. Of course, the Lakers have LeBron, and he's like the best player still in the world, even in going into year 17. But Anthony Davis, he is injury prone, and how is he going to mesh with LeBron? They have a good piece off the bench like Jerry Dudley. They have Avery Bradley, and stuff like that. And then there's still someone out there who the Clippers could get off the bench too, named Andre Iguodala. And he has experience guarding pretty much the whole NBA. And their defense will really be nasty if they got him. So out the West, I have the Clippers, and then out of the East, I believe it will be between the Bucks and the Sixers again. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Sixers. The Sixers added Al Horford. They added Josh Richardson out of from Miami Heat. And Ben Simmons, from what I've been seeing, is finally learning how to shoot three. So I believe that'll make a huge difference. I believe Giannis, he'll continue to improve, and it'll be between them. In the 7-game series, I would honestly take the Bucks in 7 right now. They did add Kyle Korver off of their bench. So I believe they would win in the 7-game series, and they would play the Clippers. It would be Bucks versus Clippers in the series. And like I said, even out of that, I would take the Clippers, just because I don't think we've seen a defense like this, like maybe since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen when they were guarding, the wing and stuff like that. And then you had Dennis Rodman inside, and that got them 6 rings. I know it's a different NBA, but and then plus they can score. They're not just defending; they can score like crap. Kawhi Leonard's a 2-time Finals MVP, and Paul George, he was an MVP candidate last year. Went on this great run, scoring and stuff like that, and led the league in steals and everything. So they're really stacked in LA.
I mean, yeah, you said it all. The Clippers. I mean, defense travels. Yes, LeBron, like you said. Yes, LeBron and AD. They're going to be great. They do have they have a 3-and-D guy in Avery Bradley, KCP, all that. That's cool. But you have proven defenders there in Clippers. Patrick Beverley going to get into you. Paul George going to get into you. Kawhi Leonard, they call him the Claw for a reason. So and they're younger too. You hit on, they're so much younger. They're going to have fresher legs. I mean, of course, they're probably going to load manage the heck out of LeBron, probably even Anthony Davis too. But I don't know. It's rough. It's hard to pick against the King, but I mean the Clippers are just so stacked. But it's gonna be a great NBA season. I've been saying this is probably gonna be the best regular season that we've had in a long, long time. Just because the NBA is so wide open, and we just don't know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. The Rockets got James Harden and Russell Westbrook too.
Right, exactly. They can end up being a great duo, and that move they made. Obviously. Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, swapping teams. That could be the hump. That could be the move that gets the Rockets over the hump. You just never know. So it's going to be interesting, man. But Josh, thank you again so much for joining me. Again, Josh coaches at Central High School, Macon, Georgia. Also coaches Little League in Macon, ages 13 to 16. Host of the podcast called The Den. Make sure you go check that out on Facebook. Check it out on Instagram. His Instagram, Joshua Dennis, for Instagram and Facebook. Josh, thank you so much for joining me again. Have a great rest of your day, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate you, Josh. Josh said it all, man. It was great. Loved having him on. Thank you again, Josh. But if you're the Braves, you have to elevate your game when it comes postseason time. You've done a great job in the regular season. The Bats have done a great job bailing the pitching out at times, numerous occasions, but now we have a bullpen, and that bullpen is going to have to come through, especially during postseason time. Because the Dodgers, they're going to be on their game. The Cubs, if we see them in the division series, they're going to be on their game too. There are no teams to sneeze at. And I'm not throwing any shade at the other teams, but just saying, the postseason is a whole different animal. Teams are going to elevate their game, and we have to elevate our game right along with them. Not saying we can't make any comeback magic in the postseason, because we definitely can do it. But we'd rather just be in a position to just go ahead and get the win outright. Put McClanton out there, Shane Green to close it off, maybe Chris Martin in some middle innings if need be. That's what we got those guys for, to hold the lead when we get the lead. As far as the Hawks go, they're going to be exciting to watch, man. Josh touched on it. He did a great job of it. We got the young core. Now we got to get them some experience, and I think the Hawks should go for it this year. The Hawks should go for the playoffs this year. If you don't get it, the Lakers were a fringe playoff team. They got the number 4 overall pick in the draft. The way that the lottery is set up now, if you're on the outside of the lottery, you still have a puncher's chance to get a quality pick. So go for it. Why not? Adam Silver has shown that the NBA is not going to reward tanking anymore. So go for it. Try to get these young guys some playoff experience because that's the end goal. That's the end game. Being competitive in the playoffs. Being competitive in April, May, and June. So go for it, Hawks. That's what I'm challenging them to do. As far as Falcons go, man, we got to stay healthy. Health is the biggest question. Health and the lines. Offensive and defensive. If we start 2 rookies on the right side, how soon are they going to mesh? How ready are they going to be? When they get into the regular season, are they going to look the same as they do in training camp in the preseason? Defensive line. Are you going to be able to get to the quarterback? We know what Grady's going to do. What are Vic and Tack going to do? Are they going to be able to get to the quarterback and finish and get those sacks like we need? And health. Dion, can he stay healthy? Ricardo, can he stay healthy? Keanu, can he stay healthy? Are they going to be okay coming back from major injuries? Big questions, man. But again, exciting times. Football season getting started. Basketball season coming soon. Baseball season in the heat of the playoff push. It's good stuff, man. That's all for today's episode, though. Please like this video. Share it out. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about the podcast. Hometown Take Podcast, man. We doing this thing big time. We're trying to get worldwide. I'm going to talk to you guys soon. But until then, peace.